Now officially, hello everyone. My name is Michael Wolf and I'm the founder of the Minnesota STEM Partnership. And we have many different types of services that we provide to our students. Our goal is to really break down any barriers, identify students of color across the spectrum, and also to put in the hands of these students advancing emerging technologies. So that's basically the short for Minnesota STEM. We're just trying to equalize the playing field. Our three primary pillars are robotics, drones, and coding/data analytics. We haven't branched out into any of the other sectors yet, but we're trying to get very good and scale to a level that hasn't been seen, in a while. So having said that, tonight you all are here, and thank you all very much for giving up your time. A couple of years ago, I realized that we had some really talented young ladies, some exceptional young ladies, and time after time, story after story was they couldn't join the robotics team because the, pasty-faced little snotty-nosed boys, right, wouldn't let them on the team, or they just didn't feel comfortable, or they made fun of them, or whatever it is. And I know that that's a generalization, but in reality, I also recognize the fact that being a male, I don't believe I've ever done that, but also I'm not the one to represent this, but I do understand a need, and I do understand the fact that we have to do something for a demographic that has been underserved, and that's our female population. In particular, there's an organization called the National Consortium for Women in Technology, a national organization with I believe I'm characterizing it correctly, as a branch called the NCWiT Aspirations in Computing program, and there is a state division. So Minnesota State IT Center of Excellence is one of the coordinators and supporter, or rallying point with the IT Discovery Network, and in particular Russell Frankel. And so I've known Russ for a long time. He's been a big partner in crime, so to speak. And so we were trying to figure out how could Minnesota STEM support our Minnesota STEM girls. But then he introduced me to the Aspirations in Computing, and then basically it's just blah, blah, blah. You all know why we're here. We want to be able to identify young girls from across the ethnic spectrum, to be able to give them the opportunities that are afforded to other students. But in particular, your goal out of this is to help those students that do show up, that will show up, that hopefully will show up, and any other high school girls that that are interested in technology, and help them fill out the Aspirations in Computing Award application process. The first year that I did it, as a 36-year veteran in IT with a vast amount of different types of activities, I struggled through it. I probably, nobody would have hired me by the time I filled out the application. That was the old application, and I know that we have Ariel Daya and Karen Martin, as well as others that are on here that may have participated in the Aspirations in Computing Award. But this year, Minnesota STEM Partnership is back. We're here with the MSP Women in STEAM, and we do this project now. I guess it's an annual thing that we do from September, early October, until the Aspirations in Computing Award application process ends. We also will participate in any banquets or awards that they may have, and all the fun stuff that goes on with it. But the biggest benefit is there's been a heightened awareness to girls of color. And last year, I think they had pretty high improvement in percentages, and quite a number of our girls that we mentored in the classrooms at various high schools and online and at public libraries actually went on to succeed. Some of them got internships, some of them, became rising stars, people to look for in the future. And so, having said that, I would like to make sure that everybody here has an opportunity to know who's here. And if I could just get, I'm going to go around my Zoom room here, so to speak, and see who's on the screen. I'm going to save Ari and Karen for last, but I'll start with Mary. Mary, could you just give a quick introduction of who you are, your background, and any other opportunities that you may have?
Well, my name is Mary France. I'm the current CEO of Enterprise Knowledge Partners, which is a cybersecurity and forensic investigation firm.
Yes.
I'm also the CISO for Prescriptive Health, which is a brand new healthcare delivering low-cost pharmaceuticals to independent providers now using blockchain security and some other bleeding edge technology. I have been vested in not only coaching camp invention and robotics teams and sponsoring them, but as has been noted, I love it when we get all girls teams for the specific reasons that Dr. Wolf just mentioned, because it really helps them shine. And where we're not getting the members of those teams are in underrepresented or underserved communities. So the opportunity to do this is just phenomenal, and I appreciate being here and having the opportunity to help.
Fantastic. We'll go to to Lindsay.
Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Wilson. I am the program coordinator for our Power Up IT program, which is a a high school development program that brings in tech individuals for students to learn from. And I also handle our social media for Minnesota STEM Partnership.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lindsay. And next, I have a Jenny Johnson. Jenny, how are you doing tonight? All right, we'll go on to Joy. Joy, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Fantastic. Please introduce yourself.
So, hi everyone. My name is Joy Aso. I currently work as a clinical research specialist with Medtronic. I've worked with Medtronic for a little over a year now, and before that, I was studying biomedical engineering at Brown University. While at Brown, I did a lot of mentorship and STEM education efforts. So I directed this nonprofit summer engineering camp for girls in the inner city of Providence. I used to be a camper in the camp, so it was great going from camper to now directing the camp. And that was an opportunity to introduce minority women specifically to engineering as a field that they could pursue, and STEM at large. On top of that, I've also taught elementary and middle school classes in coding and robotics, also serving as a mentor to many of the girls at that private school to see what areas of STEM they could see themselves in college.
Wow, Joy, that's a whole lot. By the way, we are looking for robotics instructors right now, so. But I'll stay in my lane here with this team. But if you have any friends that want to be mentors and head coaches, we'll talk after. All right. I see Shelley. Shelley, how are you doing?
Hey, Michael, I am doing good. Goodness, where do I start? Shelley Andrew, I work for the Minnesota Twins in their technology department. My focus is on business applications, mostly store-bought, but we write a lot of our own as well. And I manage the dev team as well on top of all of that. In terms of what I do for fun is exactly this. My passion is around getting not only women, but underserved youth interested in STEM, keeping them in STEM fields. I'm glad to work for the Twins who've given me the opportunity to connect with Michael. That's how I met Michael, was through the Twins, and I will roll up my sleeves and help wherever I need to help, and I'm glad for this opportunity.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us, Shelley. Zeinab.
Hi, I'm Zeinab. A little bit about me with tech. I just recently got into tech, so the past year. My background initially is healthcare. I have my master's in healthcare administration, and I finished my coding boot camp from the University of Minnesota back in May. I work at SPS Commerce as an IT consultant right now, and I own my own company, Main Source. So it's a tech company, web design, and mobile application development.
No, Ari, you cannot hire her. Okay, you guys cannot even network or collaborate. Every time I introduce somebody to Ari, she steals them from me. So I'm just kidding. We're very happy, very, very happy you are here. And you will be an absolute value and an asset to this. So thank you for joining us. And I'm making sure that I'm looking at my list, checking it twice. So we have everybody. We did, if anybody knows Jenny Johnson, we did exit Jenny Johnson just in case she was a Zoom lurker. If she does come back, you know, we will permanently ban her if she doesn't recognize herself. So, all right, everyone. The goal again is to assist these young ladies in their ability to fill out this Aspirations in Computing Award. There is a main organization. There are other efforts. We are a value add layered in go-between, if you will. So in no way do we want to take away, take credit or anything for that. We're here to just assist these young ladies to get them through that process. There is a benefit to Minnesota STEM. We also are able to address the needs of that particular demographic, but we certainly, you know, we're an open organization. We just want to make sure that they get the best possible opportunities. So having said that, our goal is to meet every Tuesday through November 3rd, starting at 6 o'clock. And if Michael Wolf shuts up and we let Zeinab or Ari or Karen or somebody else lead this thing through the discussions, you'll get through a lot faster. But having said that, the goal, we did block off 2 hours. I hope that it doesn't take 2 hours, but we do want to keep the window open for that period of time. And tonight we're going to have either Karen or Ari. They have been working feverishly behind the scenes to make sure that they understand the application process, that the questions are similar or different from last year. What we did last year is we went into, Karen, stop me if I'm wrong, 4 or 5 different high schools, coordinated with one of their teachers, sat down with them, bought in, you know, did the whole big splash. And then we also offered this support program on Saturdays. And Shelley, I believe you participated in one or a couple where we met at the Rondo Library on Dale University in St. Paul. But due to COVID, this is the format that we're pursuing. You know, we hate the fact that the young ladies have to stay in the program, stay online and virtual stuff, but it's kind of our reality right now. So I am going to transfer the conversation over to, I believe, Karen and Ari, and then I'm going to go on mute. And what they're going to do is they're going to take us through the process. However, the number one thing that you as their mentors are going to do is going to extract from them as they do these applications, the words, the knowledge, the spin. So I've, you know, stereotypically used an example where, and it's not even, it's a real life young lady at North High. She should definitely be going to MIT. She should definitely be going to MIT. She is an 11th grade mom of their family, caring for their siblings and working a part-time job or two, and cannot do after school programs. She should definitely be a superstar, right? And so when I sat down to speak with her, she started talking in basic terms about, you know, I don't really do any tech stuff. I don't really do anything. I try this, but I didn't. But she had been with Thomas Waldtower with the, and oh gosh, I just had a brain memory lapse there. But a girls program, a very good girls program. But they had taken her on a tour. She had been to San Francisco, been to Salesforce, all these things, had been on a tour. But she had also taken coding classes. She never really did robotics teams, but she tried all these things. But she had these incredible project management skills. She had this aptitude for technology. And so our goal is to try to help them understand where those hidden treasures are, where those talents are. So even though they might not have formed 10 robotics teams or been on 3 different groups and all this stuff, our goal is to understand where they're coming from and be able to hopefully move them along the trajectory to document a compelling application. No fabrication, no, you know, excess journalism skills or, you know, fabrication, definitely no fake news, but we do want to make sure that these young ladies get an opportunity to have a very rich application. And so at the end of the day, what that means to you is, you know, hopefully there'll be some synergy between some of the mentors and mentorees, and the ability for you to review their application and be maybe their reference for them during this process. That's really the net of this. The goal of the program is to end in November with no other time investment other than the opportunity to come celebrate their success. And that's it in a nutshell. So without any further ado, Ari, Karen, take it away.
Okay,
Karen
I got it.
is
Yep.
going to lead this, and I'll jump in whenever.
Yep,
can.
I got this. And then Michael, don't forget that you're gonna drive, because I'm on my laptop on my iPad.
Okay, wait a minute. Are we using the same document? I didn't.
Well, no, because what I'm gonna have you do is go into aspirations.org.
Oh, okay.
Yep, but yeah. So while you're doing that, Michael, so let me
I
just
can
tell.
also do that too if you. That would
Yeah,
help.
let's let
Oh.
Ari do that.
Oh, okay, Erin. Yep. Go if you can go to aspirations.org and
In the
display
NCWiT
that,
page.
then that would be great. So I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Karen Martin, and I am currently a business analyst for Excel Energy. I've been with them for a little over a year, and prior to that, I've been contracting and consulting in the IT field. My background is network engineering, where I have been designing the backbone networks hands-on. So now I'm hands-off, but still in the technical realm and technical, the background. My passion is working with kids. I've been a part of BDPA. I'm still a part of BDPA, where we're teaching the students how to develop websites. I've been working with Erie, Michael for quite some time, and now Michael have piqued my interest in drones, and so this past summer. I, along with another lady named Shannon, have ran the drone program for the Minnesota STEM. So that's my background. And so what I want to do is, Erie, did you want to say something, a little bit about
Yeah,
you?
sure.
Okay.
Sure. My name is Ari Odaya. I was introduced to BDPA quite a while ago, and started volunteering for BDPA. And then I own a digital marketing agency that actually used to do the marketing for the local aspirations and computing chapter. So I got engaged with Aspirations students and started working with Michael at that time with the STEAM ladies here and mentoring the young women. So the whole experience has been really inspirational for me, working with Aspirations, working with the young ladies here in Minneapolis, and with Michael and his team. Just through working with them, I've been inspired to really return to my roots in technology. And now I started and launched a new venture that leverages AI to uncover or identify unconscious bias in marketing. So I'm looking forward to helping the best that I can. I think the biggest problem in tech right now is the lack of diversity from a gender and racial perspective.
So thank you, Erie. So one of the things I forgot to include was how I got involved with Aspirations in Computing. I think Russ Frank had got me involved, and I've worked on the committee for the Aspirations Computing for about, I think this is probably my 5th year, I believe. And so what Michael had mentioned is what we have done in the background. Erie have done a lot in the background. And I have as well. The part that I have been a part of for the Twin Cities is the application, and for the last couple of years, I've been on the committee where we review all the applications for the Twin Cities when they come in. And so there's a team of us who read them word for word. You know, we correct them, and then we also choose like who our choices are for the Minnesota winners are. And then along with the Rising Star program, which is a part of the Aspirations in Computing. And so with that being said, because I am familiar with the application process and know what they're looking for, this seems fitting for me to go through the application process and to show you guys what the application looks like and what we're looking for in the applications as you go on to mentor the students. So Ariel, so what I want you to do is hit the, does anybody have any questions before we go through this process? Yet? Not yet? Okay, so Erie, so if you click on the login button, so what the students will see is when they fill out the application or get started, they would go to the aspirations.org website, and then they would have to create a login. So here, Erie, I would want you to type in my login, because I actually started a profile as a student. And the email address I want you to use is my email address, which is lynetwork3@gmail.com. And this is what the students will see once they hit that login button. And so what they're doing is they actually will create a new account. Because I already have a login, we're just going to use my existing one. But the students, because they're in technology or interested in technology, they would have no problem getting to this point to create a student account. One of the things that they would have to do is, let's see, Erie,
Is that the correct email address?
Yes, yep, that is correct. When they go in, first when they go into the aspirations.org, when they do a login, they have a choice of they have a choice of creating multiple accounts. You want to get them to choose the student account. So there's 5 of them out there, 5 or 6 accounts out there. There's an endorser account, student account, teacher's account, and also I think parent account, but the students would have to choose the top one, which is student. And they would get that after they hit the login button. So then you would have to choose, you create an account by typing in your username and then creating a password. The password that I want you to use is, I'm gonna do Timber Wolf, like Michael Wolf with a capital T. So Timber Wolf 1, yeah, capital T, I am Wolf 1 exclamation point.
That's it?
Yes, and then click. Yeah. Okay, so right here, this is what the students will see once they create an account. They can also save their work, go back out, and when they come back in, this is exactly what they'll see, which is their dashboard. Notice on the left side, it says the student account task list. And then on the right side, they have their award application task list. So on the student task list, if they have to fill in their name, their birthday, the school that they go to, and so they're pretty much building a profile. So Erie, if you click on, let's see, could you scroll down a little bit more? Let's see. Scroll down a little bit more. At the end of it. Yeah, okay, stop right here. Okay, so also down here at the bottom of the dashboard, this is where there are information, their guidelines, and there's all kinds of information where they could, if they need help filling out the application, it walks them through step by step. And if they have any questions, it is also in these guidelines. And so let's just tap on these guidelines. Let's go to application step-by-step guidelines. And you can actually hit that. You can actually click. Yep. And it'll take you to the website where it tells you how to, for this one, Erie had clicked on preparing the application. It tells you all the information that you would need for your application. The next one would have been step-by-step filling out the application. So a lot of good information is within the bottom of the on the dashboard. And if they have any questions, they can click on those links. Okay. All right, Erie. So let's go back to the dashboard. Go back to I think it's your middle tab. Okay. Yep. Right here. All right. So as the students, as the girls complete a task, the system will automatically cross it out. So because I created a profile, I created my dummy profile. It noticed that I put in the correct age, and so it crossed it out. It select my school, and that my profile is complete. And then also on the right side, they will start marking off as things are complete. So let's go over to, let's go to continue the award application. Yep, click on that. So here, I have created I have started filling out the application. And notice on the left side, we have the personal information. So here's I filled it all in. And if you click on scroll down and see if you see any more information. Okay, no, all right. Click on number 2, yep. And these are different tabs that the girls would have to fill in. And as these tabs are being filled in, it would also start marking off on the dashboard. One of the things that we need to be aware of is this part right here. So number 2 and number 3. These tabs are really important because this is exactly what the application viewers are going to look at as far as information that they put in to tell the story about themselves. So when the viewers get all the applications, they're gonna look at some of the key things that we're gonna look at is what their career goals are. And I just put anything, I threw anything in here. What their career goals are, and then also what their future plans are and how they want to how they're going to use technology. So if they want to, develop a product or solve a problem in technology. Number 2, and number 3 are very important for the girls to put down their skills where they can shine. Okay, if you go to notice that the total count for words, it says total count 25. If it's less than 25, which is like how I have in the second one, then I think it turns a different color. I must have it on the future one. Oh yeah, there we go. See, it says the minimum of 25 words have not been met yet. So if you can put in, Erie, like it's fun, or it's or yeah, and then it goes to 25, and then we're able to pass through this tab. Any
Hey,
questions?
Karen, real quick, I think Mary had a question.
Mary, what's your question?
Some of the girls that I deal with speak Spanish or Somali. I'm not that good at Somali, but I am Hispanic, and are we supposed to help them translate it, or how's that working, or will it accept responses in another language?
Good question.
That's a good question. When we receive the applications, it has always been in English. We are not doing any translations. And so I don't know, one of the things I don't know, and Erie, can you make note of that? About the translations of the applications.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question, Mary. Also on the application, it'll ask you if you know, if English is your primary language and other languages that you know of.
You know, one other thing we could do is I can reach out to Russ too, because if they go directly through the aspirations and computing process, they might already have addressed or dealing with the language translation issues. So Ari, we can tag team on that. I can also follow up with Russ.
Yeah, because the applications go through national before we get our local applications.
Yeah, I would. So another thing that just is recently happening, is it Corinne? Multiple languages, we probably do need to address that and see if there are others that will be joining us. And then through the city, I actually am enlisting a interpreter, because many of the Hmong and Karen students are not fully conversant in English either. So it's, yeah, we may have to deal with that, but I'll follow up on that too.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, Erie, can you go back up? Scroll back up to the top. Okay, so experience with technology. So that area is very important to fill out and for the students to shine. And with these two, and then also with number 3. Erie, can you click on 3 for the future plans? Okay, and so these 2 slots are very important, where we need to have the students shine, especially if they work in the community or do volunteer work with technology in the community. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, and Erie, click on 4. Number 4 is the activities, and this is also a part of the application. So for the activity, yeah.
Karen, I'm sorry, before we move forward, Mary, were you asking if they translate the questions into any other language, or if they accept the application responses, those answers in a different language, or both?
I was asking both. If they filled out the responses in their native language, if they needed to be translated, or if more importantly, if we're working with the applicants, are we allowed to help them translate as we help them fill out these applications. I'm not sure where we draw the line.
I see that. And then helping them translate, essentially you risk doing the work for them, you mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, I want to make it clear that if we have parents, that if the applicant speaks English, but the parent doesn't, I assume it's okay for us to help the parent approve the form and give permission without crossing any lines, but the applicant itself would be different. I'm assuming that.
Yeah, yeah. If the parents, you're saying if the parents don't speak English and you want to help the student with the application with their permission, that would be okay. That would be just fine. That would be just fine. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mary. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Activities. This section under activities are nice to know about the students. And for instance, computing classes at your school at the top. So Erie, just hit that drop down button so they have choices whether they have no participation, some participation, lots of participation. This area here doesn't matter. I mean, you can have a student that have no participation or no technology skills, and that's fine. It's not important. It's not important as number 2 and number 3 of those tabs. So the students may feel that because they don't have much technology skills or that they don't belong into a program, that they don't qualify to be a part of this program. So that's not the case here, because whatever they choose, it's not a deal breaker. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So let's go on to number 5. All right. So access to computing. These look like new questions that I haven't seen these before. I don't remember this. Gary, do you remember this at all? Access to, whether they have any issues accessing technology at home or at school?
You're on mute, Ari, but that's a digital divide questions to make sure that they're, yeah.
Yeah, this may be something that they just added due to COVID and the distance learning to assess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But again, the questions here, it doesn't matter. It's not going to, help them or hurt them as far as being qualified to apply for the Aspirations Awards. So
It might help on what they award them with though this year.
oh, so okay. Yep. Yep. And then number 6, any additional information. This is where they would put in, if they know more languages, they would put it here, which is fine. We don't do anything with this information, but number 7, yes, we check services. We check services at confirmation of above affirmation. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the dashboard. Oh, I'm sorry. Oops. Let's see. What if we should have saved the progress? But
I just say
all right, that's okay. All right, so go back to the dashboard. So it is a long process for the girls. What we want to do is emphasize, like I had mentioned, the tab number 2 and tab number 3, because we want to capture the skills that they have along with the community involvement that they're working in or volunteering in. and how they're using their technology skills in the community. Erie, on the left side where we request parental or guardian approval. Click that one, please. All right, so each application that's submitted, we need to have, can you scroll up to the top a little bit? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right. Each application that's submitted for the program have to have a guardian or some type of approval along with an endorsement from an educator. What this does is this notifies the parents. So what they'll have to do is put in their parents' email address. And once you put in the parent's email address and send it, what this does is sends an email. It's a approval or is a template that gets sent to the parents. And what they have to do is go into their email address and approve. There's instructions for the parents on what they need to do in order to send the approval for their child to be a part of this program. And then once that comes back, then it'll be crossed off at the dashboard for the parent. Same thing for the endorser, but except for the education endorser. What this piece is the endorser could be like a teacher from school, somebody who they volunteer with, who is giving them the task that that they're doing, and pretty much what it is, it's a letter from the educator or the endorser stating, they would say, yes, Lindsay is a great student. She has picked up she's very quick in picking up technology. She's a go-getter. She's a great learner, blah, blah, blah. And those letters from the endorser is required. So if a student, I mean, it could be a teacher, or I think we prefer a teacher or an educator because they know more about the level of the students and how they progress in their learning skills, as opposed to a friend. So, and a teacher or coach would give you more, would give these girls pretty much more information than their friend will. And so the same thing with the endorser. What happens is that the student would need to fill out the name, the relationship, along with the email address. So once the student puts in their email address, there is a letter that goes out to the endorser. They have instructions of the information that they need to fill out and what they would need to do. Send it back, and then it'll be crossed off at the dashboard at the top. So this is required. Are there any questions? Any confusions? Okay, we're good. All right. All right, so if the students go out and then come back in, this is where they would need to click where it says, for my award application, continue working, and they can continue working on their application and work on their letter, which is for number 2 and number 3. Here are the dates. And for the awards, what we're looking for, here are the deadlines. My school is, and then the regional, those are profiles. Click, go down right there. All right, so view profile. I think we've seen that already. Like my profile, they can make the updates, they can make any changes, and then all of the instructions and all the the questions that they need to, or if they have any questions, here are the guidelines for them. Okay. Okay, scroll up to the top area to see what's in the dashboard if I missed anything. Okay, so once the endorsement goes out, then it gets crossed off. Once they receive, right, the request educator endorsement is not going to pop up until we get the endorsement coming back. Okay, so these two are the task lists for once everything is crossed off, the application is complete, has been submitted and complete. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Any questions?
Could you just review, I know it's on here, but the deadlines and everything, we're trying to get this, the timing. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you just had that page up, application. Yeah, okay. 11/12, okay. 11, it has to be submitted by midnight Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock Central Standard Time on November 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
The applications, yep, let's see. Yep, there you go. Education, yep.
Just clarifying, thank you.
So yep, so the applications will have to be in before the 5th, but then all the endorsements, the educator endorsements, and then also the parent approval have to be in by the 12th. By the 13th, actually.
I said we set an internal deadline earlier than that.
Yeah, I think we did that last year because we actually if the students had any questions with the application, I think we reviewed them as well. Or when we went to the schools, if they had any problems, then we gave them suggestions on how to reword their like their application or their essay portion of it.
Mm-hmm. Just FYI, I have a hard stop at 8. I didn't realize 7. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was a 2-hour meeting, so I have another meeting at 7. But
okay.
Should we talk about how the process, the schedule for mentoring, or what we suggest, and coaching and working with the young women, or how do you want to do it?
Oh yeah, Michael, how do you want to do that?
And Michael, it might be best for you to take the wheel here. Take the wheel. The wheel.
All right, not a problem. Not a problem. By the way, you all did a fantastic job. You can certainly applaud for that excellent overview. And as I think everybody can tell, to me, it's an arduous process when you get into this thing and you're brand new. And like Karen pointed out, is they may feel a little bit insecure or whatever about, should I even be in this program? And the answer is yes, because we want to help them. If there's a 10th grader, why wouldn't they? And they have an aspiration, want to do these things. And that organization's a great organization.
Yeah, and one of the things too, Michael, is that even if if they insecure about themselves, they can still apply, but then they can also be a part of the Rising Star. They can be chosen for the Rising Star, and then know what the process is in order to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So
to answer your question that's on the table, what we'll do is, what we've experienced is that there's students that come in at different degrees. So please keep recruiting these students, send them to aspirations.mnstempartners.org, or certainly send them directly to the aspirations link. But we would like to assist them if at all possible. what we've seen is that their students, the new coming students, we may create a breakout room just for the application process to take them through it. So I guess I'm envisioning having a main room and then 3 breakout rooms. And so Lindsay is volunteered to be our moderator, Zoom moderator. So at the beginning of the upcoming sessions, we'll create the rooms, and then based on who attends, what their needs are, we'll place them in the appropriate breakout room. What we're hoping is that although many of you here today, there's going to be other mentors that will pop up. We'll share this recording, but then we would have a couple of mentors initially in these breakout rooms. Just much like the natural law of attraction, we may have one of you that are a mentor. You know, I'll pick on maybe, you know, Joy, she's done robotics. Maybe there's a young lady that she identifies with and the lady identifies with her, like in terms of what she wants to do long term. We'll just make sure that Joy and that young lady are in the same room. And they can, we'll certainly know. We can ask them to do it through chat, or ask them what breakout room they want to go into. And then Lindsay and I will scramble to put these people, these young ladies into the appropriate breakout room. We can certainly also set up private breakout rooms, and that would be if the other alternative, it's all depending on how many students that we get. And if we get enough where there's a mass, then we probably be doing group mentoring. If it's a situation where we have 3 mentors and we have 3 mentees, then we would, you know, if the need is there, we'd create 3 breakout rooms for a period of time. And as soon as they're done with the breakout room, they can re-enter the main room, and then they could adjourn or we would continue. The general cadence of it would be any new announcements right at the beginning, any new things that may come up. We may invite like a Russ Frankel or maybe somebody from NCWiT or another participating member of, you know, the other organization, and have that be as like an opening. So we always want to start on time, and I'm kind of a stickler about at least within the first 2 to 3 minutes, let's get started. Let's have the agenda, we'll record it. But we also want to hold the young ladies to a certain level of professionalism so that they can know that it's okay to be on time, it's okay to be early, and we'll try to make that part enjoyable. I will be looking, Lindsay is going to moderate, so I will not be the face of this for these sessions. Lindsay will open up, you know, between her and I, we will figure out what the right things are to say. If any of you have any messaging that you want to share, one other format that I was going to ask is maybe we could schedule one of you to share your story each week, you know, each week for the next 4 weeks, and then talk about why this is important if you're just starting out, and why, you know, the whys. I think it's very important that these young ladies hear from you that live this stuff. I mean, I'm privileged. I'm not a woman. I have had, I learned early in my career what not just ethnic discrimination, but sexism and whatever is. I'm going to give you my only, one story that you all can relate to is I was the only guy in a boardroom at a financial services company. Everybody was an executive. I was basically the assistant or the young early career professional in there. And then they got to talking about DIY stuff. I wanted to jump in and talk about power tools, and then they shifted to beads and, clothing. And I was like, I just sat there, literally shut up and kept going. And I was not hurt. I was not offended, because I also learned to adapt. And I know that if I had that experience, that 99% of the time, most of you have run into those situations. You get those, not to be disparaging, but, loudmouth people that are overbearing, that just happen to be male, and they don't want to let you get a word in edgewise, and you have to fight harder than anybody else to get your point across. I've watched with politics, our female politicians get interrupted continually, and it kind of, excuse the language, it kind of pisses me off. But, the reality of it is we want to create an equal field, or at least move these young ladies along a trajectory that they can be powerful and confident in their own. And that's what you're going to do for them, is create those baby opportunities to build that confidence so that they can, be who they are. So if anybody would like to volunteer, Lindsay, if you could pop your email into chat, that would be great. Just feel free to, don't be shy. Feel free, rather than us calling on you impromptu. We're not looking for a Toastmaster 6-minute professionally developed speech, but I think having a testimonial from 4 or 5 of you, or all of you, just to share at the opening to say why this is important when we have students there. I think that's pretty powerful stuff. So that's all I would ask. General template, we assemble, we have an opening. We'll either go to breakout rooms or we'll play it by ear based on the number of students we get. We don't have an overwhelming number of students, so it looks like we've got just about a half a dozen that have confirmed. So even if we can impact half a dozen, that's perfectly fine. If we can still recruit and still get more students, we haven't fully engaged with our 5 high schools yet. We just started that process. So Lindsay has been sending them out to the high schools. But again, since we haven't gotten in front of them, we haven't had the opportunity to plead the case. So I would imagine later in the schedule, we'll have more students. So that's my closeout spiel. And Ari, will she get out of here? I'm looking for the.
Yep, she's getting ready to.
Yep, 6:58. Yep. I did it.
See you later, Yuri. See you later, Yuri.
Bye, Ari.
Thank you.
Guys,
right.
good night.
Okay, good night.
So Lindsay, how are we doing for time? Do we want to go around the room, and does anybody have any additional questions or concerns or thoughts? Silence is bliss at 7 o'clock at night, but
Yeah.
Michael, I do actually have a quick question. I couldn't find my mouse in the dark to unmute here.
sure.
So I know I worked with at least one person emailed me after our session at the library, and I followed up with her right up to her getting her application submitted. Would it be okay if I reached out to her proactively and say, hey, we're doing this again? Do you need any help?
Absolutely. And you can invite anyone that you may know that knows a young lady. Obviously, our focus, our slice on the world are BIPOC students, Black, Indigenous, persons of color. The goal is to help identify any student that has a passion. So all the students from last year were invited. Their email could have changed. So I would absolutely reach out to her and have her start that process again.
So one of the things, Shelley, I'm sorry, Michael. One of the things, Shelley, too, is that if she had, start the process and created an account, she can actually use that same account in order to go. Yeah, she used that same account to go into the aspirations.org, and then I think it may say like new application, which is what she would want to use for this one. Yeah, for this year, create new application. I think that's what it'll say. Okay. But you can use the same account. So, and then also make sure that that she's pretty tight on like that tab number 2 and tab number 3. Yep. With the future plans.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's what we worked on last year. Is I really only helped her with those 2 questions. She took care of everything else. So.
Okay. Good.
All right. Very good. If there aren't any further questions, everybody have a wonderful night. Lindsay, I'm gonna put Lindsay on point. I know she's looking forward to it, but we will adjourn. And then next week, please make sure that, if you know any students that fit that particular mold, that you send them to aspirations.mnstempartners.org, or certainly add them to the calendar invite. There will be there is one calendar invite for mentors, and there's another calendar invite for students. On the mentor invite, just so you know about privacy, and I'm sure Mary is like beating me up for this, but the calendar invite has all of your email addresses visible, because the other part of this is Women in STEAM is networking as professional women. And so that opportunity exists. Unfortunately, with COVID, we didn't do our famous happy hours all summer. But we will figure out a way to do happy hours. But there is a second calendar invite that will have all the students' names. They can add student names to it, but they cannot see the other students' names. And so we felt that that was a better privacy approach. But in that particular invite, Lindsay and I are able to see what students have participated in terms of responding or acknowledging, and we're continuing to message them through that particular calendar invite. But when they register, we'll grab their email address and add them to the calendar invite, and for the 4 or 5 successive invitations through November 3rd, Tuesday, November 3rd. So.
Okay, good.
Karen, Lindsay, anything? Lindsay, you can wrap us up, so.
Well, if
Put
no
her on
one
the
has
spot.
any further questions, I suppose we will wrap for the night, and we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, everyone. All right, talk to you later. Take care.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.